Every night, at exactly 12:17 a.m., someone disappeared. It started subtly, aperçoir, another there, all across the city. The media didn't catch on at first. They were written off as missing persons cases, runaways, or people who just decided to start a new life. But Detective Miles Corrigan saw the pattern. It was the time. Always 12:17 a.m. Not a minute sooner, not a minute later. The disappearances were clean, almost surgical. There were never any screams reported by neighbors, no signs of forced entry, no struggle, and most unnervingly, no blood. It was as if the victims had simply evaporated into thin air, leaving behind eerie tableaus of their final moments. The crime scenes were what truly haunted him. He'd walk into a bedroom and find the bed still warm, the sheets thrown back, as if the person had just stepped out for a glass of water. A phone would be on the nightstand, still charging, its screen glowing softly in the dark. The doors would be locked from the inside, windows bolted shut. It defied all logic. How could someone vanish from a sealed room? The first few cases left the department baffled. They brought in specialists, profilers, even physicists, trying to explain the impossible. But every theory hit a dead end. The only common thread was the victims' habits. They were all-night owls. Students pulling all-nighters, writers chasing a deadline, gamers lost in virtual worlds. They were all awake when they were taken. The press, once they caught the scent, had a field day. They dubbed the unseen perpetrator the late-night killer, a morbidly catchy name that stuck. The public's fear grew with each new headline. A citywide unofficial curfew began to take hold. People who used to enjoy the quiet of the late hours now rushed home, double-checked their locks, and forced themselves to sleep before the clock struck midnight. The city that never slept was suddenly terrified of the dark. Police urged caution, but they had no suspect, no motive, nothing to offer but empty reassurances. Corrigan knew reassurances weren't enough. He felt like he was hunting a ghost, a phantom who could walk through walls. He spent his nights poring over case files, the details blurring into a single, terrifying narrative. But here's the part they never released to the public, the detail that Corrigan kept locked away in his own private file. It was too bizarre, too terrifying to share. It would have caused mass hysteria. At every single crime scene, there was a mirror. Sometimes it was a full-length wardrobe mirror, sometimes a small vanity mirror on a dresser. But it was always there, and it was always positioned facing the spot where the victim was last seen, usually the bed or a desk chair. It was almost as if the mirror was a silent witness, the only thing that saw what happened in those final moments. Corrigan had his team dust every single mirror for prints, but they always came back clean. The surfaces were wiped, sterile, except for one impossible, chilling detail. In every single case, on every single mirror, forensics found a single, unidentified fingerprint. And here's the twist that kept Corrigan awake night after night. His own reflection staring back at him in the darkness of his office. The fingerprint wasn't on the outside of the glass. It was on the inside. It was on the silvered backing of the mirror, a perfect print, pressed into the reflective surface from within the glass itself. The implication was staggering, a violation of the laws of physics and nature. It meant the killer wasn't breaking in through a door or a window. He wasn't picking locks or disabling alarms. He was already in the room, waiting. He was inside the mirror. This changed everything. The investigation wasn't about finding a man. It was about understanding a phenomenon. The disappearances weren't abductions, they were harvests. The mirror wasn't a witness, it was the door. Corrigan found himself staring at his own reflection with a new kind of dread, wondering what stared back from the other side. The late Nate Killer wasn't just a name for a person who killed after midnight. It was a warning. Don't stay up till late, not because someone might break in, but because something might break out. So, if you're watching this late at night, and you happen to catch your reflection in the dark screen when the video ends, just remember what they found. And whatever you do, don't turn around. Thanks for watching, and try to get some sleep.